Oh, God. Oh, we've gone live. I don't know how that clicked on. I hadn't even clicked anything. But we've gone live. That's, oh, hey, Dave. I'm Kerry,
Hey, young Kerry.
founder of the Mom Project Suicide Prevention. I'm just going to sit here, wait, let it build up and see what I've got and where we can share it. So, what brings us here? Life. Why do we do what we do? Why do we put our life on the line, and why do we share so many private, maybe according to you, that some things should remain private? However, what's the policy we adapt? Dave, what's our policy?
Our policy is to be open, honest, tell the truth, don't hold nothing back. And that's the understanding of all the Mom Project people, the members. And in the forums, what we have, the workshops, yeah, we don't hold nothing back. We tell it as it is. We'll answer any questions, don't matter how personal or whatever, online or in the workshops. We are open. Yeah.
We are open. And the thing is, sometimes, and I want to address something because we came across a petition. The petition was to put an end to cyberbullying online.
Yeah.
I'm just going to find that
Yeah.
post. And it was quite heartbreaking actually to hear that the lady had lost her son. I'm going to call her by her name. Her name is Anna, because you should hear that name and know that name, that a lady is lost a son and is grieving for her child.
Yeah.
I want to let you know that in my, sometimes life is people. Look, had I passed, let me put it in an easier way. Had I passed away doing what I did, then I wouldn't be here to tell you the tale to say, first of all, it's no one's fault. It's people play a big contributing factor to someone's happiness. Of course they do. They're not responsible entirely for it. It's up to us to try and muster through these storms, trials and tribulations, and to say no to the abuse, the kind of abuse that goes on in the online, particularly online. And we're actually going to stay with staying online because that's what the post was about. I'm just trying to find it. But in relation to this post, it's quite, I'm just miles away, am I, from here? Found it. In relation to the post, her precious son, Kenny G, took his own life because he was bullied and trolled over social media. I have petitioned ongoing to make online bullies and trolls accountable for their actions. Would it be okay to post here? Of course you can post in the Mom Project Suicide Prevention, Mental Health Awareness, Real Talk, because that's exactly what it's about. Real talk, honesty, and actually honest feelings. And if people can't handle the truth of what we talk about, maybe they not ready to comprehend where we've been and just how much it takes to get back up every single day from a knockback or from someone's smart mouth. It takes so much energy to get up and not feel overpowered by that urgency to hide away from what everyone else is doing to you. The urgency in hiding away is one of shame. One of, am I doing something right? is one of also, I'm actually going to talk to you about this because I often talk about my own feelings through ordeals, don't I? And I
Well,
often,
which is rightly so. Yeah,
yeah,
rightly
I
so.
talk, yeah, we discipline ourselves to talk through. Now that's taken 40 something years to master. Does that make sense? To be honest about our feelings, whether they're feeling crap or not feeling crap, feeling unbalanced for a
Yeah,
reason.
yeah,
Now, you're not actually sure what that reason is as an instant, and there could be a specific trigger factor, but you've got to muster out those feelings and break it down. What's the message? What is that message that you're receiving from the online world? So the message that I've received in the past is that I'm not good enough, um, and and sometimes because I talk, it could be coming and seen that um, I shouldn't be fit to run a company. Um,
yeah.
no, I'm serious. I'm being serious on that. These are
Yeah,
some of
that
the
is right.
knockbacks
No, that
I've
is
had,
right.
and the knockbacks
Yeah,
I've had is that, oh, are you shouldn't be running a company. You don't know what you're doing. You haven't got your own mental health together. Perhaps you're plunging in your mental health into other people and training them in a certain way. Absolutely. And you know why? Because when you've lived it, sometimes it takes someone like me and like you and like many of the other members that give back. We're demonstrating that no matter how difficult it is, as long as we can keep talking to each other and talking to someone, we can muster through that emotion, and then we can put boundaries up and put measures into place to try to keep ourselves safe within the reason so things don't happen again. Some people are afraid to go to the police. Some people are afraid to even approach or deal with any of the emotions because it's constantly bullying and badgering. And there is one way of dealing with cyberbullies, and I know that firsthand because in October 2019, I had to take time out because if I didn't take time out, I would have crumbled. And I
yeah,
recognize my own health when I
yeah.
know I'm deteriorating. And a lot of people don't know. They just see Kerry, but they don't see Kerry mustering with emotions, many emotions that she's had to build up for many of years. Even yourself, Dave. We have turned around and built up all of these emotions for many, many years and mastered so many unhealthy coping strategies. Now, it's a bit like let me put it this way. I want people to understand if you are not diagnosed, then perhaps you should understand before you make judgment. I don't care if you so have the word professional written all over you. I am a professional, but describe professional to me because I prefer a professional that talks the truth but gets the job done.
Done. Yeah,
I, I prefer a professional that is not textbook, one that has compassion and empathy, and one that understands and doesn't leave you uh, at a drop of a hat just because they think it's over and done with. With us, we have a connection. We build a connection. We bring a strong team around us because we know. And you know what? Around us, we don't need to be embarrassed. If we cry, we cry. But there will always be a reason why we've cried. And most of the time, it is somebody being spiteful. Now, it's okay to cry. It's okay to muster through those feelings. But you've got to ask yourself if you are being bullied online and it's coming to you, you can do something about it. If people are online targeting you through visual aids and it's indirectly and they're taking photographs and they're putting it on Facebook and all of those things and calling you names, you can do something about it. Although you think it's no quick fix, and I'm just going to go take it from here. Although sometimes you think, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. You have a choice to come away from the media, come away from it for a while and take care of it. Sometimes fighting back against these people in a positive way, not retaliating in a way that they're used to. Because whatever they do, they're expecting it back. You just have to do the opposite. And that is not to fear online bullies, because behind the keyboard, they are probably feeling the same way you do. And they find it better to project some kind of reaction out there to get some response from you. And every time you respond to these people, whether it's if you respond back, then you just play their game. They want your attention. The only reason you can switch, you can full control sometimes. You can switch off that attention. You can switch it off. You can block them. You can report them. Now, having to report them, there's a method and there's a way of doing all these things, and a legal way of doing all of these things. I know, I did it. I had to do it. You do not have to be trolled. You do not have to be bullied. You can put measures into place, and unfortunately, I know that they may screenshot this, that, and the other. So I'm very careful with words that I write down. I'm very careful who I entertain in my inbox. If you are receiving a message in your inbox, and it's negative, don't respond back. But for that mother that lost her child, and she had completely written down that she also then decided she felt so grieving, a loss, a sense of loss, hopelessness. Oh gosh. 101 questions as why somebody would take their life. 101 questions. Was I good enough? If only I had checked, if only I would have gone in early, if only I'd have done that. No. Sometimes when someone's life is lost, it's in vain if we forget them. Now, the petition, I think at the end of the day, the petition is that if I was to give advice back, it would be to do safety measures on your computers, etc., to keep a log diary, to make sure you're not speaking to fake accounts within reason as well, but times, date, location, all of those things you can muster up as a plan to keep safe. But I had my stuff go out on YouTube. I had it go on different platforms. I had pictures of me, the whole lot. And you know what? I just thought to myself, carry on doing what you're doing, Kerry, suicide prevention, because that's what they're actually humiliating, suicide prevention. And then what I did is I actually took the power. It took the power back, because it's true that I could demonstrate a bully by not doing anything, and that they would use me. And the fact that was using my platform, which said suicide prevention, made a mockery out of what they were doing. And it was actually kind of a deterrent to people. This petition that this lady's doing, I think is admirable. And I think one way or another, whether it goes anywhere or not goes anywhere, it is going somewhere. It's still raising awareness, and it's still carrying on her son's name. And that's not in vain. That is what you can do to keep his memory alive, to keep him going. Everything that you do is to keep him going. You know, I sit here and many lives have been lost and hope on here. No. Not that we know of. You know, we're able to intervene if we need to intervene, and we do look out for the signs. We're very monitored on here as much as we can. We ask people not to promote the method, but we are very monitored on here as much as we can. And we want to see what's harmful content and what's not, because we want to try and make sure that everyone's safe. And we understand that there's going to be some triggers, but we have to say you have to muster through these triggers. We're unaware of these triggers, but we know there are triggers out there for each and every one of us. Triggers. And only those that would understand and have lived maybe what we have lived, or have educated themselves, will understand what the word trigger means. And you can be triggered by somebody dictating something to you. And sometimes you can hear things and your mindset can think it's aimed at you, and it may not be, but you can think it's aimed at you. And that thought, that tiny thought that you may have, that, oh, is that aimed at me, can absolutely unbalance you. And I don't want to hear, well, if you knew yourself, you wouldn't be unbalanced. Know yourself, know your self-worth. Absolutely not, because words hurt. Words hurt, and words can be offensive. And when somebody listening, they might think, is this like me? When I try to project my lives, I try not to do a blame game. I literally say to you, this is what I went through, and this is how I overcome it. I'll ask questions. I interact with my viewers. I talk to my guests, and we tell you from experience just how far it takes someone to get up every day and just breathe through the baggage that we have been carrying for so long. And for each little word that goes out there of negativity, know that you knock someone's self-esteem down, particularly when you constantly badger and call names and belittle someone. What are you trying to do to them? What are you trying to do? I don't think it's really much of, you know what, I know, I'll just call them the names under the sun. What this is you want to make yourself feel good and have popularity. When you start belittling someone and bullying someone, you want popularity, seeking attention, feel good factor, to be in control. It's almost narcissistic behavior.
Yeah.
I don't condone anyone that belittles anyone online. I don't condone anyone that sits there and publicly calls out someone's name with a negative comment towards it. I don't condone it. I just think at the end of the day, I mean, for me, if people talk and interact with me, not that I can see anybody interacting with me because I don't even know what platform I'm on half the time. I like to engage with my audience, and I'm just trying to figure out what platform I'm on right now. I really don't know. Oh yeah, I like to engage with my audience, and whether there's one person watching, whether there's no people watching, I don't care. I need to know I've done my job for today. I need to know that I tried to help someone today. And the reason why I do what I do, and I don't really give a toss, and you know I've been upset about this a little bit, Dave, how people have responded to me. You know that I put my life on the line and gone out of my way to help people, only for them to take things in a different horrible mannerism, chuck it back at my face and kick the distance, because they just can't learn a lesson of what it's like to talk things through. And that's what we do, isn't it? We talk things through. If somebody has said something untoward, we never talk about somebody in a negative manner. What we're trying to do is say, why are they doing this? Do you think I was wrong? We kind of ask for that validation, and we always ask for that validation because most of our bloody life we've been told, nope, that's not the way. Yep, that's the way. That's the way. That's the way. And we've never been able to think for ourselves. But finally, we're starting to think for ourselves. And it's taken a while to muster. But we're doing it. And we're doing it because we support each other. And we're doing it because we don't want to fall again. We don't want to relapse. We never want to relapse. And it's so easy to relapse back because of someone's negative words, because of the way they're reacting, because of their jealousy, because they don't want to help. You know what makes me sick, Dave? The biggest problem that I've got is that we say, are we in this together? Yeah. Are we raising awareness together? Yeah. Great. So then let's do this. But you know what bothers me is that we can say, can you please share at the end of it? Can you please do this at the end? And it's like they don't listen. Now, how does that make you feel? You talk now. I want to sit back and you just talk and just have the platform. This is mine and your time. And just talk away, my love.
All I can say, young Kerry, is I'm now 65 with a lockdown beard, which I'm gonna dye different colours. But I didn't realise my mental health. That was only really 2-3 years ago, and really when I first met yourself.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Through somebody else, a third party. Then you said to me, Dave, you all right? I said, yeah. And you said to me, do you want to talk about anything? And being a stubborn old sod, because that's the way I am, keep myself to myself, didn't talk about it. But when I started talking to you, then I realised, hello, Dave, there's something not quite right with you. Then I started looking back over the years from when I was a kid, all the trauma at home, relationships, marriage, and all the rest of it. Injury, having to be retired off work, you know, and always helping people and getting kicked in the nuts. People talking behind me back and making up stories and saying this, that, and the other. And I think, well, no, because I wouldn't do that. I would come out and tell people what I think straight away. But people, like you say, they have to run people down to make themselves look good or put you in a bad light so they seem to shine a bit better. Now, why? That's something I can't understand. But by being in the Mon project, and I'll tell anybody out there, I attempted or failed suicide twice, and I meant to do it. That wasn't a cry for help. I meant to do it. I meant that in my life I had to be resuscitated twice. Now, that was only by talking to you and you being quite blunt and open and honest, and yes, sticking an F into me. Yeah, you did, and I admire you for it. You spoke to me how I speak to other people in a normal, proper manner. I've been to all these other so-called forums run by the NHS with the tick boxes and the so-called experts, but when I say, have you got a question? And I asked the question, not just me, but other people what were in the groups. You never really got a reply. All you got was, yeah, well, we'll have to sort about that another time, or you want to go home and have a hot bath. Sit down, listen to music. They never actually confronted it because they'd never been through it. Now, you started running the forums, and I will tell anybody out there after this lockdown, anybody's got any doubt about their mental health in any way, don't matter what it is, you want to go to them forums because I can assure you they're an eye opener and they are a life changer. And the reason they're a life changer because everybody what go to them forums, about I should say two, actually opened up and were honest with everybody, and they ended up being honest with themselves. There's a lady what was been on tonight on one of the other talks, I think about menopause, Lisa. I will mention her name because she won't, you know, she's in the thing. The first forum, We didn't know anybody. I thought, what the hell am I doing sitting here? There was all different age groups, all different types. The lady sat next to me was right posh and very well educated. And I thought, cold bloomin' heck. But within 20 minutes maximum, through Kerry's guidance, not through bullying, running down a tick list, or any crap like that, she come out and told it as it is. She asked us all questions. How many here have attempted suicide? Everybody put their hands up.
Nine people put their hand up to attempted suicide.
And some of them had never admitted that to anybody, to nobody, not even their partners, their best friends, or anybody. And there we were in a room of total strangers within 20 minutes. And that bond, and I must say, that bond has lasted. I've made some real good friends, and a couple in particular, and I hope they're lifelong friends because
And it's
they're
almost,
terrific people.
and it's like a okay, so people go to AA, they have a AA buddy sometimes. I mean, that's what I know of. But it's almost like buddying up, what we buddy up to have that sponsorship to make sure that we are all right. But it's not, it's that the importance of checking in and showing up to let someone know that you're okay, to eliminate that worry, whether or not you are they dead or are they alive. I mean, you hear from someone that is not been stable for a while, and then you put them on a support network, but you want to hope that they're okay. Now that worry, nobody wants that worry, and I'm very, when I talk about letting someone down, when you don't show up and everybody else seems to be worried about you, but you don't seem to be worried about everybody else, it causes an issue and causes an imbalance of what we all think about ourselves. So, and whether, I've put time and energy into trying to get you well, you at least show up so we don't have to worry about you. And so therefore having that check-in makes a huge difference, because there's times where
Yeah,
I don't want to check in. I really don't. There's times I don't want to check in. Now I check in because I'm just as part of healing and recovering, because again, most of us have a diagnosis of borderline personality disorder, and as much as we'd like to get away from it, because you don't know how much that really pisses me off having that diagnosis, and I question myself.
yeah,
When people make you feel, when they're projecting your name out on the media or whatever else, or they're belittling you in some kind of way, it kind of makes you think, but why am I feeling like this? Is this a natural feeling, or is this because they gave me a label of borderline personality disorder? Hold on a minute, you're still talking about an emotion, and either way, what I teach you is, what is that emotion that you're feeling? Where is it coming from? What is the statement it's trying to say about yourself right now to this day? And does it really matter what they think of you? Are they paying your bills? Are they wiping your bum? Does it really matter? I know it does
yeah,
to an extent, because we want to like people. We want people to kind of, nobody wants to have someone not like them. Nobody wants to be seen in a bad light as if they're doing something wrong all the time. Um, we just want to make sure that we're kind, and that's all we're asking for in this whole world, that we're being a bit of a kindness, understanding, a bit of empathy, and definitely
yeah,
compassion for a situation. And if you have not lived it and you can't understand, like, look, losing people to suicide, sometimes it's just a flick of the word, but we get in touch with the emotion of what that person may have been feeling, how long they've been going on for, what they may have even possibly been hiding. And that, you know what, takes one to know one to understand that. It takes one to know one.
yeah,
And there's times when I don't
yeah,
want to check in. If I don't check in, when I don't feel in a good way because I'm going through a little bit of a hard time with something or someone, if I don't check in, then guarantee I'm looking for an excuse in my head or a way to retract out of it. It's so easy done, where
Yeah.
I'll just have a day off or whatever. But the minute you have that day off, you'll have another day off and another day off and another day off until eventually what you're doing is you stop talking to people. People stop calling you because they're fed up of checking in on you all the while and you don't answer back. It's one-sided. And when it's one-sided, it absolutely messes with the person that's trying to help. It really affects them too.
Yeah.
Message to the person that anyone that wants to take their life, that it is a ripple effect. And just, I'm going to go for the petition. I'm going to talk about the petition, the lady that lost her son. The lady that lost her son and then tried to take her own life. What I realized reading through that statement, reading through the petition, not speaking to the person, but reading through the petition, what I realized is that they had another sibling, they had another child alive, and they had a grandchild alive. So even the fact that they had those alive, it wasn't the will enough to stay alive, because they were just longing for their child that was never going to bring him back. But mother was sinking down into depression. But what mum's doing is showing the other child and grandchildren how to handle tough, difficult times and even grief. And I think talking is the only way through things. Taking it out on yourself is not something that you should be blamed of. It's a choice that we make when we try to do something. It's a choice, maybe a bad choice, but the pain can be so immense. And I do think the community has a big part to play on people's well-being, huge part to play. And in the home lives and things like that, not suggesting I know that home life is the situation, also the environment and also the crowds that they're hanging around, breakups, all of these things come into play when it comes to emotions. I think when I met you, I didn't know some of the stuff that you were going through. Then you don't have to say a lot to me without me digging deep into knowing where that feeling's coming from and why. So we look at the reasons of why and what can we do about the whys. If it's crushing you like that and making you feel you don't want to be here anymore, that bad, and that's another person making you feel like that, and it's crushing you that bad to make you feel like that. So what do? What we had to do is build up and put boundaries around you to protect you, put a support network in place for you, someone you can go to, someone who's not going to be judgmental on you, somebody who will give you guidance in what you can do by the law, on the legal side of things as well. You had that from the Mom Project. And a lot of people don't know this, and they don't share my stuff because they think, you know what, there she is, Kerry again, who she is. And you know what, half of it's jealousy. It really is absolute jealousy. And what they want to do is they think about me. They don't think about the message that I'm talking about, how important it is to get these words out. They think about their self and how much I might have done them. I ain't sharing her stuff. I ain't doing nothing. I don't do this for me. I do this for everybody. I don't do this for you, those that have a problem with me. Those that think I ain't sharing her stuff, I don't do this for you. The thing is, at the end of the day, you shouldn't even be looking at me. Look at the message, what it says. It says suicide prevention. Look at it. Look at the words that we're talking about, suicide prevention. We're telling you intimate details so you can recognize. Oh, don't think it don't happen. Your foul mouths out there can just send somebody off just like that. What we try and teach you is to watch your vocabulary. Watch it. Stop naming and shaming. Stop belittling people just because they pose a freaking question to you. Stop calling people's names out. I don't think I ever called people's names out. I've only ever called a specific group at one point that was cyberbullying more than over 1,000 people. They were grooming people. And I only ever called that out and told you to stay away from it because I was a target of it. so much where they screenshotted my platforms. They send in people into my groups, the whole lot, trolls. But because we monitor our groups pretty well and we monitor what goes out, they weren't able to get away with it. And so when they actually screenshotted my page and moved my profile onto their page, making me the only woman in a page full of men and in a page that talks about rape, making me a target.
Yeah.
Making me a target to actually defend myself. What they wanted me to do was side with them in a case that was unknown to myself. No, I can't side with anyone with those allegations. Any serious allegations like that, I am never to take sides. I am to tell. And what I would do in a legal capacity is tell you to report it to the police. Any shape or form of abuse, sexual abuse, unwanted behavior, and any allegations of rape should be reported to the police. But they didn't do that. They were targeting everybody to come on their page and gang up with them and target individuals, which was beyond me. The amount of targeting, the screenshotting of couples, the whole thing that was going on pages, and it was just absolutely despicable. In the end, I had to get a file, and my file is that thick of cyberbullying. I had 9 perpetrators on myself because I disagreed with the way they were bullying people into their beliefs. I disagreed with it, and I made a very flat out statement: take it to the police. I don't want anything to do with it. And because I just didn't want to, they decided they would troll me, bully me, belittle me, make a live video of me and put it on YouTube, a message to me on YouTube. And it was just, do you know what? The only reason I was bothered is because I became a founder of the Mum Project. That means I invented what I did. I have this special gift in this program to turn people's lives around and stop them from committing suicide. The only reason why I was so concerned is they kept saying, I'm going to report your project. But what you don't understand is that I'm dealing with mental health. I'm a mental health support service. So when I'm a mental health support service, what I'm dealing with is their behaviour problems. Now, I already know there's behaviour problems, but they don't. And it's my remit to teach people like that, is that their behaviour kills people. Their behaviour kills people.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to let them kill me and destroy me by whittling down my mental health till I was ashamed of what they were doing and ashamed of them putting it. People only got half the story. They never actually followed the full thing. But I wasn't going to let them whittle me down. As hard as it was, I cried. I took respite. I was drained. I was ashamed, thinking these people are messing with my reputation. But one thing I didn't do was retreat. That's what they wanted me to do. Retreat, go away. And I realized that when you're in a position, right, and you're doing right, somebody wants to take you off your perch because you're healing people. And when you're healing people, they don't like it. They want people to be miserable like them. They want people to be at the same level as them. And so when you are progressing in life, when you're doing lives like we are, they look for faults in everything that we say. But they have no concept of what it's like to take your life, to get up, to take it again. But let's think, before you take it, we're trying to live through rape. We're trying to live through child abuse. We're trying to live through each day when somebody got nasty behavior on you. We're trying to live through manipulation. We're trying to live through what the system does for us. We've got enough baggage without an individual trying to put us down. So we're trying to rebuild every single day. Now, I don't know about you, but you see, when people project there, they know it all. And they've never been through what we've been through in that capacity for that amount of time, for that length of time,
Come on. Then you go.
then they will never understand, and they need to stop the judgment. You can only teach what you know with your lived and own experience, and no textbook, and no qualification, no qualification will actually make you comprehend unless you've lived it. You've got an understanding of it because you've heard it,
Yep.
but unless you've lived it, you don't really understand it. All that deep sense of emotion when you just have had enough. And it's very quick to say, I've had enough. And if those lifelines are not there, but we provide on a daily basis, and if we don't push out what we push out on an almost daily basis, and I think we're pretty up to scratch with Mom as much as we can on the Facebook, which is not a service. Just get that quite right. Facebook on here is not a service. It is a support network, one of which we will say we would take people that have a lived experience and we will help where we can help and offer some support. And some people won't give you advice because they say they're not legal. But I say it takes one to know one that can give you the advice and actually give you good techniques and coping strategies that you can replace from the old to the new and try something different. That's the difference. Now, somebody who hasn't really lived it, they're going to go by textbook. I'll try and find. I keep looking. I'm just looking for a big book that I've got. They go by a lot of research, a lot of questioning, a lot of. I mean, I did mental health, youth mental health. Got a qualification in that, but no, it's just a piece of paper. Yes, it's great to have qualification, but that's not really a qualification watching a video. And that's what you did in these groups. You watched a video.
Yeah.
They talked about it.
Yeah.
You watched a video. But when they were delivering the service, they might have known someone in the family that might go through it, but they actually didn't live it or have never committed suicide before. Does that make sense? So they don't know that deep up, know that territory there. So, in a sense, it's really strange sitting in on a youth mental health work. It's really strange sitting in on that. But then when people are saying, well, what's self-harm? I'm having to explain to them and take over that group. And it's good because that's what they want to hear, real life experience, so they can relate and they can understand and hear it a little bit more better than looking at a textbook. So I'm sick and tired of people saying to act professionally. Please tell me, how do professionals act when they're struggling with depression? How do professionals act? Look at Caroline Flack. How did she act? She committed suicide and she was a professional. That's what I'm saying. Behind that title, professional, and that's what a lot of people hide behind, is labels. Behind those titles, he's a human being. Just like a police officer, he is a human being behind the uniform. Maybe not think about it when you've got that allergic reaction to that, but behind that, there is a human being that raises families. There is a human being that has a wife or a girlfriend or children out there. Behind that, okay? Some people, when they're in a role, that's just what it is, a role. They've got a duty to do. Something they signed up for. But unless they've lived it, depends how they treat you, of understanding. Dave, man, it's horrible when people turn their back on you. One of the things that I know that when I said to somebody one time, look, you're behind me at the moment, you're not quite there. They took it as defensive, as if I was to say, you're below me. And no stage did I say you're below me. I said you're behind me. And what I mean by you're behind me is that if you're not running your own business, that's nothing, right? then if you're asking for a way of stopping emotions and stuff like that, then look, nobody has got the answer to mustering through emotions. We just know that talking is a way through it to get through that emotion for the day and have a plan together. You know, I try help where I can help, and that's what I do when I can offer in a friendship capacity. But having you guys, you get the not only do you get the friendship capacity, you get the advocacy side and the support of what can we do? What can we do to go and raise awareness? What can we do to get you on the map to do what you want to do? And I'm always trying to get people to do what they want to do and follow them and nobody else, not even me. I like to see people flourish and
Yeah,
become their own boss. And so
yeah,
far, I've not seen people wanting to do things, but they've got their hands in every pot, but not focusing on themselves to stick to that goal of, you know, so if they say, I want a car, rather than focus on how to get the car, they're tarmacking the road first, getting the tax and getting the insurance before they could get that
yeah,
car. You know what I'm saying? Um,
yeah,
my
yeah,
my what I say is we have to focus on what's ahead and plan. It's almost like when I'm trying to say to somebody when you want to do a business, I'm trying to tell them because I'm here already. That's what I'm saying. You're behind me. When you're behind me, then and I'm giving you how to get there. When you don't take that and you shove it out my backside, I've just wasted my words. Hey, but it's not my time, is it? You know, I've done it. I'm already here. So what I'm trying to say is I might be a woman that is living with emotionally unstable personality disorder and sometimes really unrocky territory. But I muster through for I know people rely on me. And I know that also people say that how can you fix yourself? Well, something that I watched last night and I thought, well, this is my remit. In order to help others is helping you heal because you're practicing what you preach. And that's what we do. We practice what we preach. We talk, we laugh,
hold on. I've got a
we,
grey hairy lump just turned up. Hold on.
we cry, you know, we cry, we laugh, but we know where our support team is. And at any time
Yeah,
we know we can pick up the phone. And unfortunately that, you know, some people when they do want to become a part on the Mom Project, they just don't. They don't think about team. They think about themselves. Some people they think about themselves and it's all about themselves and what they can get out. Now when we pull people on, when people come on here, we say, look, if you've got something to say, you want to raise awareness, please do it in here, share it out. It's still your content, it's still your name, you're still sharing the story, but you're on a platform that represents life,
yeah.
survival, and real talk. But some people don't want that because they think I'm stealing the limelight. But nowhere on this mom real talk does it ever says this is Kerry Mussington's platform. It doesn't say that. It's team. It's the Mom Project, and it's a team platform. So
And
if you
you always say, oh, mum. I've never heard you say my mum. That's always, oh, mum.
our Mom Project, when you're on the Mom Project, because I'm Kerry, so I'm saying the Mom Project at the end of the day is what it represents, and it's suicide prevention, mental health awareness, and it's real talk. And some people don't like our method, but I'm straight, I'm blunt, I'm to the point, and that's the way I know people with emotionally unstable personality disorders need it. They need bluntness. They have mastered your emotions. I'm talking from experience. We've mastered how to manipulate you for a very long
Yeah,
time. And it's not
yeah.
intentionally, deliberately on you. It's more intentionally how do we get that attention from you? We have master manipulators, specifically with those disorders, because we don't know how to get close to people. We want to get close, but because behaviour is so unstable from other people, it's never stable. It's never, I'm not going to speak everybody. There's no stability with some people. They only check in when it suits. They don't stay in contact or regular contact. It's only when it suits. You know,
don't comment, don't post. Yeah,
don't
I
comment,
agree.
don't post, and don't share our awareness. And why? What? Because it's all about me. It ain't about me. This is my mouth. Yes, I was born just like, and I'm going to say what his name was again. I was born. Yeah, didn't know what I was born for, but I was certainly born to now to use that voice that had been stifled for 40 something years, you know. Oh, thank you, darling. I'll see you, Suzanne. I'm in here now. You know, so the 40 something years I stifled my breath, and I know people didn't know. They just look at me and just see me. They don't see nothing else, Dave. But you know, my members know the struggles that I have. The same thing. I through this COVID virus, I would like to make that another life. But through this COVID virus, I've been up sometimes in the morning. I'm thinking, wow, if they're doing this to us, what's the point? You've taken away something I've just built up, which is suicide prevention. You've just taken it away. You've just taken it away. And then I had to muster through the brain, muster through that negative thinking, switch it.
Yeah.
No, they haven't.
Yeah.
No, they haven't. Because as long as there's a platform here provided, I can talk. But however, I was in the street today, did not need technology to go and speak to someone and tell them how important it was to help people that are feeling a little bit unbalanced, a little bit of needing stability, etc. So yeah, I didn't do too many today because people are a little bit reluctant of taking something from your hand. So we kept the distance. I just crossed the road and said, do you mind taking the flyer? Maybe you don't need it, or maybe you would like to pop it in the neighbours, because at this time people are struggling with their mental health. And you know, I want, and there's a lot of things going, particularly, and I want to say this, and I'm going to do another line specifically just for that woman, to be honest. I want to say this importantly, that this COVID stuff that's going on, is upsetting people. And your words out there that you're projecting out there on social media, make sure they're kind and make sure they're of more of an understanding in a sense of what you're trying to say is, come on, I understand when you promote a method, when you're teaching online, or you're trying to not teach, you're trying to project something online, a message online. But I think my final message is, please don't destroy your lives. Please don't take your lives because of this unsettling situation at the moment. It's just, I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to come back into the mom with David and talk about this COVID situation and this feeling of this COVID situation. And I'm directing it at people with mental health. We all have mental health, but mental instability at the moment and a little bit of depression. So I'm directing at those people that live through depression and live with depression on a daily basis. Okay, we have our good and bad days.
I will say one thing.
Please do. So I need to
because I watch a lot of posts from all angles, and I've learnt a lot. And I'm not saying that because I'm on the Mum Project. If they thought that was something wrong, I'd say so. But I've seen these so-called advice groups, which certain individuals put out there. All that is about them projecting their bigotry, their radicalisation, if you want, their radical way of thinking. They say, oh, I'm trying to bring people together. No, they're not. They're trying to split people up. They're doing it for their own self.
People
Uh,
do,
no,
do,
yeah, but they're
do.
doing it for their own. They're doing it for their own agenda, and just to suit their way of thinking.
But
Soon as
that
you
again,
criticise them, but soon as you criticise them or bring up a question which you don't think they're actually saying is right, what happens?
yeah, but there's no wrongs
You
and there's
either get blocked. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, there is,
there's
Kerry.
no wrongs and there's no rights. But
There is.
people do actually when they've got their
It's
group,
a
they
lot. No,
go on.
yeah, but there's a lot difference when you're talking live, like you do and I do. We say it as we have experienced it, and we try to help people. And for Christ's sake, I hope if I've just saved one from doing what I've done, I'll be quite happy with that. But there's people out there on certain platforms, they've got their own agenda. And I don't care what you say, Kerry, you know, because I speak my mind. A lot of them are out there just to promote themselves. They're not really 100% committed to looking after people or their welfare or their well-being. The difference being with you, and this is why they don't like it, because you speak from the heart. You speak from your soul, from your experiences, like I do, and
Mm.
other people what have been on your platform and all the Mum Project. And a lot of these other so-called helpers, they don't like that because they like to project their own agenda. And they use it in a grim disguise as mental health. And that is wrong because I've watched a lot of the comments on a lot of them sites, and some poor people are really confused because they've asked questions and they've never been answered because the question what they ask is going against these people's agendas, and that's wrong. If anybody on here put a comment or ask a question on the live or the website, the Mum Project, or when we go back to having our workshops, that's dealt with from all angles, from everybody's opinion. And you know that.
Everybody must have a
You
voice.
can't just,
If you're doing a
yeah,
live,
but you can't, but you can't project your agenda, your beliefs onto other people through what I call the mask of mental health awareness, because that's not. You're projecting your own beliefs, your own agenda. I'm on here live. Start off being 20 minutes, next time that's 2 hours. What you got to say in 2 hours, what we can say in half an hour.
well, I think I get
With
carried
all
away.
the, yeah, no, but a lot of it is waffle and padding. That is
But I
not.
think it's each to their own. Look, at the end
But
of the
that
day, tune into whatever
but
TV
that yeah.
and
But the thing is, yeah. But the thing is, Kerry, there's people what follow them platforms, and I've noticed the comments over the weeks and months. Some of them poor devils are getting right confused. They don't know where they're coming or going.
this is where people have to learn to think for themselves, Dave. They've got to learn to feel what feels right for themselves, lead for
Yeah,
themselves, and don't be led by
yeah,
others.
yeah, but if someone's out there projecting that they are like mental health awareness or whatever the case may be, and they're projecting their own agenda, then people are not weak-minded. I don't mean simple, but there's a trigger most probably set off, and before you know it, then people are gone off the
Excuse me,
wrong
stop,
road.
stop a minute. Look, the comment that I've just got on here, yeah, this guy talks shit. Lovely Kerry. How do you think I just felt? I don't do negativity, right? When you're telling someone they
No,
don't talk shit, perhaps rewind it back. We're talking about suicide here. We're also talking about awareness here. So when you tell someone's talking shit and they're telling you that, fucking hell, what is wrong with people? I don't care who you are. You know, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not calling you out. You can remove the comment for yourself because it makes you look like an idiot. But at the end of the day, when you sit there and say this guy talks shit or this woman talks shit, take yourself off. Don't listen to it. But as you come in at the beginning, you realise that we're trying to tell you at the end of the day what it takes to stay away, stay alive. We're telling you also about cyberbullying. Your comment, this guy talks shit, is exactly what was just needed. Prime example of criticizing someone and putting someone down. Why? You might not like what they say. You might not like what they say. And I don't tell you back to try and offend you. At the end of the day, you might not like what someone's saying. You might have just left the building. But when you put comments like that and you're supposed to be a friend of mine, know that I welcome people in my life, in my space, in my platform at the end of the day, because these are people I associate with. And you know why I associate with them? Because they think like me. They're smart like me. They talk with emotion and empathy. One of which was just missing. Empathy. Of understanding of the situation, of what someone's trying to do, and to prevent suicide. And oh my God. Classic example of mean words written for the viewer or for the eye to see. Something that I
so
saw,
someone,
something that I
yeah.
just stressed over negative words. So I'm going
So
to do you no, but
whoever
now
it was,
we don't call names, and it wasn't in the mom because I'm not on the mom. I posted in the
but
mom, but
whoever it is,
it does.
whatever I said must have triggered something and a bit of a truth, and that hit home. I don't care. I tell it as it is, and if you don't like it, tough. And if you've got a problem with me, go on the mum or come and talk to me on live. Do a
I
live,
wonder
face to
what.
face.
I wonder what was so shit about the conversation that we was just having, which was about people taking their
He,
lives. It was about, okay, maybe they clicked in at the point when we were talking about platforms and about people being mean, leaving comments as they just did. So that's a prime example. Hello, Beverly. Hello, Beverly Barnett from USA and Susan from the USA.
hiya, Bev.
Suffolk, bless her. There, I'm going to go off here. I want to do a serious conversation just for one of our viewers, specifically for one of our viewers, because I want to help here as much as I can for one of our viewers. And then we're going to need to cover COVID and lockdown, what's happening, and going forward and what we can do now, because mentally it's really having an impact on people, and I want to get that message out there, the message that we need. Some people don't understand us, they really don't, but I don't really care. The Mom Project is going to project a positive message out just so we can try and keep someone from hurting themselves.
Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you for tuning in here. I've used this platform now. Off I go back onto the Mom Project, and
And I'm glad I was talking a load of shit. At least they were listening.
and I'm glad I actually got. I want to say, even thank you for commenting. I bless you for commenting, regardless. And
Yeah,
I know it's part of their banter, but at the end of the day, just wanted to make that prime example that those words, that's not very nice. Not when the content is so deep and
yeah.
life
The
changing.
truth, and the truth must have hit home to whoever it was.
I don't think what they did. I don't think they were at the very beginning of it. I think they came in somewhere.
Yeah.
My ears keep going like pressure. I think they came in not in the beginning of it, so they would have missed some of it. And that's the thing with somebody, when they pop in, they don't know what the content is about. So we'll take it as they didn't know what the whole content was about. It's all right,
Yeah.
my friend, associate, long time. And you know what? My bluntness, if you can't deal with the bluntness that I gave back, I'm just keeping it real. I can still shake
Yeah.
your hand after keeping it real. Can you? Or are you going to be offended of the way I spoke back in relation to the comment, which I have removed for your benefit? Only because I don't do naming and shaming, and only because at the end of the day, I think it's only polite that you had an explanation. Maybe you won't do that again. And that's the only reason. When you get given a chance to explain, you don't do it again. So let's go on to theory. Over to the mum.
Right, I'm just going to make a cup of coffee.
Me too.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there anyone got any questions? We will going over to the mom project now. Bev, if you want to come into a live at any stage, I've only got to share a link with you, and then you can just come in.
Come, Bev. Yeah.
Bev's not that tech, but I think you can quite do it. All you've got to do is click on the link. But whenever I say, Bev, do you want to do it? She'll just don't. She does her own lives as well. Another one, and I thank you. I'm grateful for your lives, but sometimes don't forget to live in them on.
They're
So
good, her lives. I enjoy her lives. Very down to earth lady.
laugh. She just. Sometimes I see Bev, and I'll never forget the time I sat here and I was putting makeup on. And then the next day she went and put makeup on just to take that advice and take that tip. And you know what? She just flourishes with ideas and things and just comes out with random stuff. But you know what? She's in her own shell. She's projecting it out here. Whether we tune into her, that's still our choice. But I like to get a smile and say when someone's giving back, hello, Bev, at least to the person that's doing a live, whether it's a like, whether it's a share, or whether it's hello. It's that acknowledgement when someone's doing a live. Unfortunately, I stopped commenting on people's lives. If they bite my head off and call my name out, I don't know whether or not I should comment any longer. So rather than take that risk to feel shitty about that situation, I back off, I sit, I listen, and I just put a like at the end of it because I don't want to offend anyone. That's my choice to tune in to other people's channels.
Yeah.
As long as I want, it's my choice. It's always a choice. And if you don't like it, you don't have to. So it's my choice. And if you keep tuning into a channel that you feel that you're affected by, maybe you're self-punishing yourself. And you've got to ask yourself, why do you keep tuning into someone's channel that you disagree with? Do you like the challenge? Are you trying to sort of battle something out in your head or not? But at the end of the day, I think everybody has a voice, and I think everybody has something to say, whether it's that message is for us or not. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Messages are not necessarily for you. Somebody's just talking, and it's for you to take what you want out of it. So unless they're directing it with you to yourself, that's different. Like me saying, hey, Dave, how are you? That's a direct. If and if people put comments into the into lives, thank you. That's what I want to say. Thanks. See you on a month.
Yeah.
Tea break.
Bye.
Smile as you wave. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna put happy here. So
oh yeah.
I'm happy.
Yep.
No, that's not how it goes. Bye.